Oh, Powerglide, the man who never stands down, now taken by the love of a human girl. 2 worlds,
one family!
I can't judge you, you're only listening to your heart. But can you talk to Hound for a bit, because he's scaring Spike? Bold, daring, and just a pure darling, Powerglide is unique in the mini-bots for his rather indifferent shape, and that he was a rare early instance of an actual full-fledged flying Autobot without the assistance of flight tech. He may be small, but that should help his maneuverability in the air. For any reason he can get, he'll take flight and show off his slick moves. On the ladies, that is. Impressive enough, his name was mentioned on an original title for an episode of the original cartoon infamously named The Girl Who Loved Powerglide, where a young naive girl and Powerglide recreate Married with Children. Hey, it was the 80s, bug off. In the 2015 Combiner Wars line, Powerglide comes back in full. Let's take a look at this Legends class figure. Before we dive into the alt mode, let's take a look at the weapon mode. You might remember this in the Superion review where I quickly threw it in. So what's the point of this, other than making one of the best Autobots out there into a gun? Why argue with that? Well, each combiner was connected to a Legends class toy in some way. Armor, weapons, or Wreck-Guard just being there. Being a flying Autobot in red, he seemed to fit right in. It's not essential to the combiner, you can use it with other figures, but the weight might prove difficult to work with, although Siege seems to be fine. Oops, I accidentally found another reason to love Hound. Oh. As a weapon, it's fine. Leg joints aren't connected to anything, so whoopsie, but it holds enough. The thrusters are used as blasters, however, I appreciate the added missiles on the side, because all guns need this! And there's also a blue screen on top to play Top Gun Fire at Will. Landing gear is used as the handle, but because it's not perfectly round, some of the hands are You know, some say if you listen close to the missile rack, you can hear Cybertron Thundercracker going apeshit. Again, not an essential part of the toy, but it doesn't break the mold except for the added detail. Completely acceptable, but we're not here for this. Just a few steps and Powerglide transforms into a plane resembling an A-10 Thunderbolt, somewhat based on the classic toy. I gotta say, the proportions for this guy is pretty slick until you get up close to the imperfections. Given it's a Legends class figure, I'm not gonna scream in terror over this. However, I wish the legs were more stable, the tabs are weak, and the knees are left to bend out of place. There are certain gems to admire, the intentional line work for the panels and the jet boosters. Take note, you slide the top ones down in this form. Don't push too hard or oh no. The cockpit is on point with the black paint, and the mini gunner is both dangerous and adorable. Love the bend to the wings too, and yeah, he could punch you, so what? Do something about it, I dare you. You could just use the missiles, but then you miss out on the fist, and you don't want that. Attach some guns and fuck up some Decepticons. Fold up landing gear on the front, and the back is molded in wheels. The wings on the back don't really stick in place, and well, the entire back needs a few more tabs. Doesn't ruin the toy, but a lot of things fall out of place, as long as you don't! Just don't. Not perfect, but the sheer sight of Powerglide in the size brings me enough joy that every nitpick shoves off. Robot mode. If I have to explain the transformation in one word, it would just be right. If you told me they were making a modern day Powerglide based on the original toy rather than whatever this experiment was, this is exactly how it would be. In short, Hasbro did it good. Jetting away from his ridiculous forever Peter Griffin Pilgrim's joke pose, Powerglide's aesthetic is a well-earned update, giving him proper movement, nice shaping, a big Autobot symbol, and who you calling a pinhead? Seems smaller in proportion compared to his original toy, but unmistakably characteristic with the cone helmet, colors, and without a doubt recognizable face structure, with stern eyes hiding the emotion inside. Too bad this thing on the back makes the head hard to turn, otherwise woo! Did someone say articulation? Head rotates, ball joint shoulders, elbow bend, ball joint hips, ball joint knees, and hinge feet. Joints are serviceable enough, but if there's one thing lacking, I wish there was a rotation joint to bring out the arms. Would make it manageable for hugs. While charming, it's fascinating to see Powerglide come from a doofy G1 toy to this generation's style, keeping the head shape, colors, and classic recognizable wings making the side of the torso. But don't judge a book by its cover, because this is also Captain Wingman. Paint's pretty limited aside from the red and dirty brown, but there's some silver silver and blue on the crotch. Hey, eye contact. Nice rocket boots, but I think AoE Prime is out to get them. Of course, he needs no guns, though just lift up his arms and this is why the neighbors don't come over. Targeting system activate. Powerglide is pretty simple, but in the outright perfect scale. I'm glad to see this minibot join the ranks of this class, updated for the Generations theme. And aside from the weapon mode that's pretty much just a bonus, this is exactly what I wanted in the basic form. I'd say if you can get Powerglide, get him. This is one of my favorite mini-bots, and the dedication to making this work and the joy it brings is great. Not perfect, but well designed. A misunderstood little bot, but with the heart made from light brights. And hey, everyone's beautiful, but peaked by perfection.